come on in. Come and say hi as we prepare for the next week. See what's going on in this weekly guidance. Come and say hello. What is happening? It's okay. Give my cards a good shuffle, good clearing, as I wait for you guys to join me to see who's going to be here live for the weekly guidance this chilly Monday night. All right. Oh, good. I do see a few of you guys coming in. Seems like it's slow for Facebook to be pushing it out. Okay, good. Good. Oh, Sharon. Oh, I hope your dad's feeling better. So much to celebrate for Daddy-O. Good news coming in. Nothing to worry about. Quick healing, positive solutions. Yay. Happy to hear that. Happy to hear that. Oh my goodness. It's so funny. I'm going to share this with you guys while I'm waiting for everybody to come in. Last week, I just laugh. If you guys only know the week that I had, I laughed at the beginning of last week's video and I was like, oh my God, I'm so caught up in everything. I'm so caught up. Is how that week went. All of us got sick. That lung infection that's going around. OMG. That is not for the faint of heart. That you can still hear it. I feel human today. We were functioning today. But let me tell you, it actually reminded me of, and again, some of the people who have been with me for years and years and years may remember in that December of 2019 into January of 2020, before everything happened in March, I had a group. We were doing a Growing Together group. And that was the year. That was the year that I learned the hard way, that when you're feeling under the weather, you just have to stop and let your body heal. You just have to surrender and accept, because I learned the hard way, because that's when I learned that just because I'm physically resting, I was so sick with a lung infection that physically resting gets canceled out if you're laying there going, I should be doing this, I should be doing that, I need to be doing this, and right, and being hard. And yes, Sharon, right, you were there for that. That was like last week. That was the level of intensity that illness brought us all to our knees, all of us that live under my roof. And that's kept on what I kept on thinking. I'm like, but I have learned the lesson. Ryan had to learn that lesson last week. And I'm like, listen, I remember that time when I was so sick. And if you don't just let yourself, mind, body, and soul, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually rest, then it doesn't count. And you prolong it. And so I just laugh as well, like I said, going back and seeing how happy I was at the beginning of the video, because I was so caught up, because November was so crazy. And I was so caught up. I was at all my breakdowns done on time. The house was deep cleaned and decorated for Christmas. You should see it now. But if anybody is catching those super germs that are going around, you have to just let your body heal. Whether it's healing on a timeline that you approve of or not. I'm going to cough. Sorry. You have to let your body heal. And if you're laying there physically resting, but mentally going rampant or speaking poorly of yourself or putting pressure on yourself to get better, to do things, it cancels out your rest. So it's in everybody's best interest that you listen to your bodies, your mental body, your emotional body, your physical body, your spiritual body, because that's how you get through it the quickest. And that's what I know that we all really just want, right? Anybody who's going through a healing journey, we're like, how can we get through this as quick and efficient as possible, right? But yes, I had some laughs, and it was very nostalgic. It was very like, I was here not that long ago before everything turned crazy. Oh, my little Mrs. Claus cup. I love her. Love a Christmas mug. All right, let's get into it. What do we have? 6 cards pulled. You may have also noticed I have noticed within the last week of that broken sleep, who's experiencing the insomnia or the broken sleep or the waking up after sleeping, feeling unrested, feeling like you didn't even sleep. You were definitely not alone if you were having that experience. That seems to have started to correct itself, which is really, really nice. And so now really wanting to be mindful about how you're spending your energy. I think that's so important because our energy is our currency. And it's so important for us to be mindful of be mindful and more intentional about how we're willing to use our energy. It almost feels like as soon as we get it, it's like, right? We got to have it outwards. But there is this feeling of wanting to be reserved with how you're giving your energy. I have a little cough drop here. And I think that's going to be important moving forward before we even get into these cards. Okay. So there is an experience that's coming in this week, and it does feel like at first glance, I was like, ooh, I love this card. Like new love, new experiences, heart chakra. There's the ego. Okay. Which means it's kicking up doubt and fear. Even though this does have a feeling of stability connected to it. So if you're navigating something new, starting a new job, having a new experience, the fact that it's unfamiliar may be kicking up this ego, but that is allowing you an opportunity to remove a limiting belief is what they're saying. Okay. And so instead of listening to this naysaying, remember what Spirit had me share last week? Just because we have all of these thoughts, just because this is what's coming up in us, doesn't mean we have to listen to it. The other thing that you can do with that is go, why? Why is this coming up for me? Where is this coming from? Right? And using it as an opportunity. It's kind of like highlighting inner dialogues, belief systems that you may not recognize is dictating your day. How you feel about yourself, how you present yourself, decisions that you're willing to make or not make can all be related to this almost belief system that goes under the radar on autopilot that you don't even recognize that you have. And so when this ego comes up, it's a wonderful opportunity. It's kind of like shining that flashlight on what it is that needs to be healed or needs to be redirected. Okay. They're saying that you've been preparing for this for a very long time. Okay. And so even though there is this feeling of, am I ready? Absolutely you are. Absolutely you are. Not only have you been preparing for this for some time, because every experience that we have prepares us for the next experience, but it is part of your soul contract. And you came in here to have this experience. So you are quite literally built for it. I'm going to cough. I'm sorry. And you're quite literally built for it. I think that's so important to keep that in mind as you're moving forward and as you're going through these new experiences. And let me tell you, 2025 is full of new experiences. They may not all be experiences that you have asked for, but they are for your highest good. Okay, so keep that in mind as you move forward. We're also wanting to focus on things that we love this week. Moving out of this heavy energy that we've been feeling since July, where there's been this intense retrospect and this intense urges to be like face your shadows and shadow work and kind of being like, how did I get here? What needs to be changed? Things need to change. We're kind of coming out of the other side of that. So well done. You did so good. Making the changes, bringing your awareness to the epiphanies, the realizations, having the courage to make inner shifts, having the courage to make external shifts. Now we are really building for what 2025 is bringing for us. And that's going to allow you to focus on what you love. Where there's been a lot of 2024 has been a lot fueled by duty. And I have to, and we got to make ends meet, stay afloat, hustle, 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 right? We're getting back into simplicity, back to the basics, and letting what you love, what just brings you joy, what brings you passion, what gives you that little butterflies again, that's what's coming to the forefront. And I know it has not been that long ago that we said, right? Think of the pandemic in 2020 when everything closed down. And we are never getting back to that rat race. We're never getting back to having ourselves spread that thin. Let me tell you, did we ever and then some? Right? Did we ever and then some? Like this year has been just, how are we going into the second week of December? I say it every week. How are we here? This year has been so intense that my brain can't even compute the date. The date in my physical experience do not coincide because it has been a wild ride, right? And that's what the last 5 months have brought us to, is being able to stop and go, whoa, things are a little bit out of control here. I really am not feeling the happiness that I should be. I'm really not feeling as physically good as I should be. I'm really not having the connections that I desire. We're coming into that realization that things need to change. Okay, that's what July to present day has provided for us. Now we are moving forward. As things get lighter, the flow becomes easier, and it is quite easier. It is supporting us to focus on what we love. And that feels foreign. I feel like not much of 2024 was focused on that. And so that's really nice to be able to shift gears again and move back into, I'm just doing it because I love it, right? Because I enjoy it. And that could be walking the dog. That could be taking a yoga class. That can be doing social media content. That could be traveling, like whatever that is for you. There is now the willingness and the opportunity supporting it for us to start getting back to that. And also getting back to the basics. This overdue, this maximalistic lifestyle is now fading away very quickly. Sorry, it's now fading away very quickly, where we're realizing that all that is clutter. All that is noise. And we're no longer willing to wade through the clutter and the noise physically, emotionally, mentally, right? We're no longer willing. We can't tolerate other people's stuff, BS, drama, unnecessary complaints, right? And that is also showing up physically. You may find yourself not shopping, not purchasing as much for Christmas, or being more intentional with the gifts that you're getting. You're not just buying to buy. You may notice as well that you're having this urge to purge. I want to purge my closet. I want to go through my kitchen cupboards. I want to clear out, right? Because we recognize that the overgrowth is kind of suffocating us. and it's suffocating our energy. And so there is getting back to the basics, and you're going to notice that in your decision making. You're going to notice that in your environments. You're simplifying. And I think that it couldn't come in a more perfect time. Okay. There's also some receiving of news this week. And it's interesting because at first glance, it felt a little bit hard to hear, but it comes with solutions. So if there is an obstacle that comes across your path or something that's coming in unexpected, it's coming in with the solution. So yay for that, right? We love that. And so don't focus so much on the woulda, shoulda, couldas, or what could have beens, and just see with gratitude that this obstacle came in with the solution, and it's handled. We have a plan and we're moving forward. And I think that's important. I think it's very easy to get stuck on maybe the unexpected news, but because it comes in with the solution, that's the universe providing. They're like, hey, this may be hard, but don't worry. Here's everything that you need, A to Z, right? And so let's choose to focus on the gratitude there, okay? It's interesting as well. I keep seeing this ending coming in, and I'm trying to figure out in what direction. Usually when they do not give me a direction and I'm reading for the mass conscious, it just means that multiple people are going to take away from the message, and the details may be different. So I will say it in a general sense first, but there does seem to be an ending, a saying goodbye. Okay. It says great sadness that will heal with time. Let go of the past, personal growth that comes from challenges. And there is this feeling, because they just brought me back to today's daily card, which is about we have to release certain people, places, and things that no longer serve us. That doesn't always mean toxic. That doesn't always mean conflict. That means, hey, did this for a while. Feel like I'm done with that. I'm going to allow myself the ability to keep growing and keep shifting and changing. There's something along the lines as humans, a belief where we took in that that change is failure. You could do something for 2 years and love it and then be like, yeah, I'm done with that. That's fine. Let it go. Right? You don't need to hang on to that. Just because you used to do it doesn't mean that you always have to do it, or just because you once loved it doesn't mean you always have to love it. Just because it once was a top priority doesn't mean that it has to stay a top priority. You have to let yourself live and grow and expand. Okay? And that seems to be the message coming in. There's a little bit of fear of letting go of the tight grip, right? But I think that is a little bit exaggerated. And so this is a situation that you can trust. There's trustworthy people around this. I think that your intuition has already been urging you and encouraging you to make the shifts and make the changes. Sorry. And it is time for you to allow yourself to expand. And it's so interesting too, because I feel like as humans, we have to have like a reason, right? To make the shift, to make the change. Besides just not vibing with me anymore. It's just not filling my cup anymore. I just feel like I need a change, right? And so that's a good enough reason. If your intuition is saying, hey, let's switch things up, let's make some changes, then you don't need to question that. If you want for good balance to be like, okay, what's happening here? Is something else going on? Am I like secretly upset about something? Am I reacting to something? Absolutely. Have that self-awareness and have that check-in with yourself, I think is really important. But I think that these changes coming in, some things just run their course. Some things just have an expiration date. Most things have an expiration date. And I think that it's okay to accept that. And I think that you're going to see a lot of that moving into the next 12 months. And so warm up to that. Let yourself understand that change is okay. It's quite essential for our existence, but that it's okay for you to change and it's okay for you to want different as you continue to grow. Okay, there's the balance card. There is the energy around us seems to be stabilizing. I think the 12-12 this week is really kind of going to bring in that grounded energy and that stability that we've been seeking and looking for. It seems like every time we get that grounded energy, it starts getting bumpy very quickly. We haven't been getting long spans where we feel safe and secure and stable and like everything is solid. That is something that is coming in before the turn of the new year and continuing, especially within the first 6 months of the new year. And so you're going to see this balance come in. This also is coming in as you're sleeping better, because everything is worse when you're sleep deprived. Okay. There's also a more ease in being able to focus on seeing the good. Because remember, whatever you look for, you find. And so we may be going through challenging experiences, but there's blessings and helpers and earth angels around you every step of the way. And so you can focus on how unfair it is that you're having this experience, or you can focus on all the helpers and the blessings that are helping you through this experience. And so as we shift into more of a enjoyment, joy-seeking, love-based experience, we are also going to retrain our brains to go into that gratitude, seek gratitude, look for the blessings, look for the helpers, they're there. Look for the magic, it's there. And I get it, Decembers are hard and Christmas isn't what it used to be. And those who we love, they're not all here anymore. And that makes for a really difficult and complicated December, full of grief and guilt and anxiety and anticipation and sadness and everything. It makes it very difficult. And I think that having just a little guiding star of looking for the magic, looking for the joy is going to help you. It's not going to make it all better. I'm not saying that, right? But it may just make it a little bit more bearable. And, it is absolutely amazing doing what I do. I am reminded daily of how amazing Spirit is and how amazing our angels are and our divine team. But it's really easy to forget in that hustle and bustle of everyday life. And so we do need to train our brains to look for it. It is a habit. It is a man-made habit to look for the good. And so give yourself permission to do so. It is not dishonoring loved ones on the other side if you're seeking joy or wanting a good feeling to come up. It is not dishonoring yourself and the experiences that you're going through. It is quite literally you opening your heart chakra an itty bitty bit to let some light and love in. You deserve that. You deserve to be loved and to have light in your darkest days and in your happiest, brightest moments, and everything in between. And so make sure as we go through this next week that you're taking time for yourself to focus on things that you love without feeling guilty by doing so. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you with that. That is your weekly guidance. You can catch it here on Facebook. You can catch the replay that will be posted on YouTube as well. Don't forget, Sydney, Nova Scotia. I'm going to be there Friday. There's a few tickets left, so if you want to come see me live for Messages from Spirit, in-person event in Sydney, Nova Scotia, you can head over to my website, AngelMcCullen.com, to get those tickets to that last event of 2024. So excited. Hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Sunday.